Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have a legal update regarding Donald Trump's and Elon Musk's illegal attempt to place thousands, if not many, of USAID employees on leave. Why? Why is he trying to place them on leave? Let's find that out in today's video and how and why exactly they were blocked. This article is from the Associated Press, titled "Judge Blocks Trump Administration Judge blocks Trump from placing thousands of USAID workers on leave and giving them a 30-day deadline." And the article reads, a federal judge on Friday dealt President Donald Trump and billionaire ally Elon Musk their first big setback in their dismantling of the U.S. Agency for International Affairs or Development, ordering a temporary halt to plans to pull thousands of staffers off the job. U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols, who is a Trump appointee, also agreed to block an order that would have given the thousands of overseas USAID workers the administration wanted to place on abrupt administrative leave for 30 days to move families and thousands back to the U.S. on government expense. Both moves back have exposed the U.S. workers and their spouses and children to unwanted risks and expense, the judge said. Nichols pointed to accounts from workers abroad that the Trump administration, in its rush to shut down the agency illegally, my editorial edition, and its programs abroad, had cut some workers off from government emails and other communication systems they needed to reach the U.S. government in case of a health or safety emergency. The Associated Press reported earlier that USAID contractors in the Middle East and elsewhere had found even, quote, panic button apps wiped off their mobile phones or disabled when the administration abruptly furloughed them. Quote, the administration in Syria is not the same as administrative leave in Bethesda, the judge said in his order Friday night. In agreeing to stop the 30-day deadline given USAID staffers to return home at government expense, Nichols cited statements from agency employees who had no home to go to in the U.S. after decades abroad, who faced pulling children with special needs out of school mid-year and had other difficulties. The judge also ordered USAID staffers already placed on leave by the Trump administration reinstated, but he declined a request from two federal employees associations to address or to grant a temporary block on a Trump administration funding freeze that has shut down the 6-decade-old agency and its work, pending more hearings on the workers' lawsuit. Nichols stressed in the hearing earlier Friday on the request to pause the Trump administration's actions that his order was not a decision on the employees' request to roll back the Trump administration's swiftly moving destruction of the agency. Quote, "Close it down," Trump said on social media of USAID before the judge's ruling. The American Foreign Service Association and the American Federation of Government Employees argue that Trump lacks the authority to shut down the agency without approval from Congress. Democratic lawmakers have made the same argument. Trump's administration moved quickly Friday to literally erase the agency's name. Workers on a crane scrubbed the name from the stone front of its Washington headquarters. They used duct tape to block it out on a sign and took down USAID flags. Someone placed a bouquet of flowers outside the door. The Trump administration said Musk, who is running a budget-cutting department of government efficiency, have made USAID their biggest target so far in an unprecedented challenge of the federal government and many of its programs. Administration appointees and Musk's team have shut down almost all funding for the agency, stopping aid and development programs worldwide. They have placed staffers and contractors on leave and furloughed and locked them out of the agency's email and other systems. According to Democratic lawmakers, they also carted away USAID's computer servers. Quote, "This is a full-scale gutting of virtually all the personnel of an entire agency," end quote. Carla Gilbride, who is the attorney for the Employees Association, told the judge. The Justice Department attorney Brett Shumate argued that the Trump administration has all the legal authority it needs to place agency staffers on leave. Quote, The government does this across the board every day, end quote, Shoemate said. Begin quote, that's what's happening here. It's just a large number, end quote. That is a complete lie. The government has not once placed any staffers on leave until now, especially illegally, like the skinflint bigot of a criminal is doing or attempting to do right now that is in office. Continuing with the article. Friday's ruling is the latest setback in the courts for the Trump administration, whose policies to offer financial incentives for federal workers to resign and birthright citizenship for anyone born in the U.S. to someone in the country illegally have been temporarily paused by judges. Earlier Friday, a group of half a dozen USAID officials speaking to reporters strongly disputed assertions from Secretary of State Marco Rubio that the most essential life-saving programs aboard were getting waivers to continue funding. None were, the officials said. Among the programs they said had not received waivers, $450 million in food grown by U.S. farmers sufficient to feed 36 million people which was not being paid for or delivered, and water supplies for 1.6 million people displaced by war in Sudan, Darfur region were being cut off without money for fuel to run water pumps in the desert. The judge's order involved the Trump administration's decision earlier this week to pull almost all USAID workers off the job and out of the field worldwide. Trump and congressional Republicans have spoken of moving a much reduced number of aid and development programs under the State Department. Within the State Department itself, employees, fear substantial staff reductions following the deadline for the Trump administration's offer of financial incentives for federal workers to resign, according to officials who spoke on condition of anonymity for fear of reprisal. A judge temporarily blocked that offer and set a hearing for Monday, which is tomorrow. The administration earlier this week gave almost all USAID staffers posted overseas 30 days starting Friday to return to the U.S. with the government paying for their waivers, or for waivers, allowing more time for some, including families, forced to pull their children out of schools mid-year. In a notice posted on the USAID website late Thursday, the agency clarified that none of the overseas personnel put on leave would be forced to leave the country where they work, but it said that workers who chose to stay longer than 30 days might have to cover their own expenses unless they received a specific hardship waiver. Rubio said Thursday during a trip to the Dominican Republic that the government would help staffers get home within 30 days, quote, if they so desired, end quote, and would listen to the government with special conditions. He insisted the moves were the only way to get cooperation because staffers were working, quote, to sneak through payments and push through payments despite the stop order, end quote, on foreign assistance. Agency staffers deny his claim of obstruction. Rubio said the U.S. will continue providing foreign aid, quote, but it is going to be foreign aid that makes sense and is aligned with our national interests, end quote. Well, everybody, that is going to conclude it for today's video. If you did enjoy today's video, please give it a like, comment, share, as well as subscribe, and hit the bell icon down below right next to the subscribe button, as well as, if you guys haven't already, please do feel free to follow me down below as well on my social media platforms. I am on Instagram, I'm on Snapchat, and I am on Threads as well. There you guys will be notified as well when I drop a brand new video onto the channel. Please help me lastly reach my goal of 90 subscribers. We are almost there. Then after we reach the 90 subscriber goal for the channel, we have more subscriber goals to get to. I appreciate you guys for watching today's video and tuning in to today's video. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Please stay safe out there, and please stay warm out there with it currently snowing in parts of the country.